Let's see how this goes. Day 2, our plan is to get this into the shop to do a fitment. Over there you can see that we have the chassis is over there, so we're gonna roll that in, and yeah, we're gonna see how this goes. Surprise! Also ridiculous. This is completely stock. Absolutely stock. This sounds like the start of a joke. There's a Miata body, a completely stock Subaru, another completely stock Subaru, and a Miata guy standing in front of a gigantic Jeep. What could possibly go wrong? All right, so empty because it had a little Honda motor that was in there. So this is gonna go right in there. All of us have really bad backs, so we're being really, really careful about how we push all of this in. We're gonna take off everything underneath, so the brakes, the suspension, everything on this, and then the Miata chassis that's over there, it's gonna go roll under it, and the lift's gonna go down, and we're gonna see what happens. So if you want to see what a Mazda Miata looks like when you take off the body, it looks like this is kind of being held up. We have a couple pieces of wood in here holding the suspension up. This one also has a rotary engine in it, which is, it's a whole thing. So normally what you have is you have this thing called the PPF, the power plant frame that holds this together. This one had, someone ate it, I guess. But in order to fit the RX-8 drivetrain that's in here, someone decided to kind of make their own kind of sketchy stuff. So this originally is a 1990, and my friend's parents bought this car brand new.
Brand new. Oh.
Brand new.
Because I had, it might have been a 90, white, four-wheel drive. My first car was one of these.
I actually bought this car back because I wanted a Subaru project right before I got married. And then my high school Subaru, so this is Spencer, the Raymond family, this was their Subaru. Then my two-door white Subaru came available, and my wife bought it for me. I'll put a link in the description below because I have a whole video story, and Haggerty did a whole story on it. And I decided at that point I did not need two white Subarus that were small and old, so I sold this to a guy. It just so happened that the day before my second child was born, we got it back. Oh my gosh, this is it. So I have absolutely no idea how many miles are on this. It was a 5-digit gauge cluster anyways, so you can see that it has a transmission tunnel. It's a very tiny transmission tunnel, but all of this is gonna come off. Oh, a little bit of rust there. That's why we have fender flares. So maybe this is the reason why this was not rolling very well. Maybe those, maybe that, oh, something like that.
So let's take the back off. The front's already broken loose.
Gotcha.
But it probably weighs a little more than this one does.
Gotcha, okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of experiment with what this looks like. It's going down so we can drop the subframe. See how this goes. Oh, okay. Jaime's specialty. Cutting things. Oh. Cool.
Oh, we got the brake line up here still.
Another brake line?
Here.
I'm in an engine bay! Alright, Tom, I'm trying to gauge your interest. Alright, so we're making a nice pile of parts. We're gonna find out maybe 20 minutes if this chassis is gonna go underneath it. This is either gonna be a really good idea or a really bad idea. I kid you not, we just measured, and on the Miata in the back, it is just about 41 inches between the shock towers, which is just about what this is. And even the two bolts that go in, these are 4.5 inches. And on the Miata, it's 5 inches. So we might be able to just shove it on in or something, right? Tom's having fun finding all the random music that was in the back of this.
Got Twilight soundtrack.
Oh, yes. So the e-brake's out, everything's off the bottom of the car. Let me see here. We're basically ready to push it in. We're probably gonna have to wait till tomorrow to do that. All right, welcome to what, day 4 of putting a Subaru on a Mazda Miata chassis. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that back in. It was easy to get it because there's a little bit of slope. It's easy to get out, but of course now we have to figure out how we're gonna get it back in. Let's see what we do.
if we want it to fit perfectly into the chassis, we'll have to extend this. Get a new drive shaft. Maybe. I mean, I'm not sure how much is in here.
All right, let's put it down and see what we what we got.
So all that's gonna be cut. Gotta cut the whole firewall up, probably.
We have way more than enough room in the front, though.
Oh yeah, tons of room in front. Forward a few more, like an inch, but that's about it. I mean, it's already forward as much as it should be.
It's a little bit off in terms of dimensions, and so what we're going to do here is that Jamie is going to cut twice and measure once on this firewall, which he loves to do, right?
Mm.
And then there's a bunch of wiring that's behind the firewall that we're going to pull out, and we're going to see how that goes. Honestly, I think this works. No dash, no problem. Oh, Jamie, smile. Yeah, everything's all really, really white. Oh, gosh.
I got the dad bod.
Let's see how this goes. This is still a Subaru, so you have to vape.
This come forward a little bit more.
Yeah, because there's a... Well, that is...
Yeah.
Right there.
And that's going to clear it. Stop,
So,
stop.
how tall are you going to lift going to be?
So is that touching?
It is close. Yeah.
So
We're gonna have to extend this. So new drive shaft and new centerpiece. We'll have to make that.
It's like a offspring. We got to keep them separated. Jamie has told me that what we're going to do is we're not going to separate this. This is also a really good opportunity to really take a look at some of the interesting work that was done to the Miata before we got it. So this was clearly cut, and I'm not quite sure if it's because this is an RX-8 drive shaft, maybe, or because the transmission's different, because it might be from an RX-8. I'm not quite sure. But that was cut to do some of the very interesting exhaust work. That's this right there. So that's the job now. Let's get this, so we can get this better in line and get that better in line. All right, so now I've been told by the head mechanic that my explanation was subpar. So, Jamie,
Yeah.
what are we doing?
So since the Miata frame is a little bit too short for the Justy, we're gonna take apart the PPF. It means we're gonna have to make a custom brace, a longer drive shaft, and we have to redo the exhaust. But in the meantime, we're just gonna take it apart, get the tires where they're gonna be sitting, so we can actually lower the whole car down on the frame and test fit suspension and whatnot. Make sure the engine's clearing.
And then at that point, we're going to see if we're able to use the Miata struts that are on here, because they're pretty short.
They're mega short.
But however, now it's in the Miata family, we have a lot more options in terms of suspension that we can use in terms of those struts. So
Something like a crossover, something like that.
perfect. So we're taking this apart. This is it's just very special. Yeah, it's all separated. At the end of day 3, and that is a subframe from a Miata, and it's under-ish, and that's no real interior anymore, no big deal. This, oh yeah, this is great. This is great. This is great. So we're going to be doing a little bit of fabrication, so you can see that there are 2 holes for the tops of the cross member right there. So we're gonna on there. Probably need some taller struts. That's probably what we need to do. But I'm just really proud of all the hard work, aka Jaime, has been doing on this to get it to this point. Space for a radiator. It has an oil cooler we're gonna put on it. Of course, Jaime wants to turbo it. So yeah. So afterwards, we're also going to, because PPF has been kind of compromised, and it's also separated down there, do ladder frames down each side to strengthen this up as well, because this car originally came with, 80 horsepower, and it's going to have, what, over 200?